This is the Simpit, I'm Michi Hoyer, and today we're gonna have another setup and questions and answers together with a setup guide here on iRacing in the Formula Renault 2.0 about the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, here together with my engineer Robert in the back. Hey Robert, how you doing?
Hello everyone, I'm fine. How about you?
I'm great so far, just standard Sunday, uh, chilling out for a lot of time and now finally get some racing on the way.
Okay, so then let's do this. I'm
Exactly.
ready.
Same here, at least most of the parts, since I have to be honest with you guys, I have never ever driven around this circuit, but to me it looks very nice. I can't say it looks very easy because no circuit at all is easy. And yeah, I need to get some learning on the way first, I think. But by that I already can give suggestions or give feedback on how the setup will feel. And you guys in the chat, if you could quickly give us feedback whether Robert is alright to hear for you guys as soon as he's talking while I'm driving. That would
Yeah,
be
that
great.
would be really nice from you guys. I've been trying to improve my sound quality and I want to see how it's working out.
Hey Racing Freaks, thanks for joining. No, actually I'm not stayed off just an hour ago, but yeah, you were actually right. Like, my father called me at 12 at noon, and I was still asleep. So my brother kicked in, and he just told me like that he asked my brother to, whoops, to tell him whether I'm here or not. And my brother went in and said like, Michi, you here? And yes, finally I'm awake. Thanks for that. So that's the story about Sunday morning today. Rather than that, I'm awake for a couple of hours. Just hadn't too much talking going on right now. Alright, so probably I have to fix some audio there to make it work good.
I can already tell you that I'm already maxed out on volume, so
Yeah, I can adjust that. I
it's
just need to turn down the audio of iRacing a tiny little bit and then re-up the sound input on my OBS, and that's fine now, I think. You have a lot of racing experience around that track, Robert?
Yeah, in many sims actually, and of course, in any sim it's a bit different from one another, but it's still a lot of fun in most cars. In such a car like Formula 2.0, it's gonna be a blast for you. I guarantee you that.
So when it comes down to this specific track, what would you say on the car setup is the most important thing?
Well, car setup is usually what people must really understand, that setup is only a means to make you feel more comfortable with the car that you are currently using, and not actually making a car that much faster. Because I can guarantee you that if I bring you one of the best sim races in the world and give him really bad setup, he's still gonna be a lot faster than some people with really good setups but average skills. Setup main task for the setup is making you feel comfortable with the car characteristics on track that you are currently racing on. Of course, a good setup provides you more stability, more grip and so on, but the main task is making you comfortable so you, as a driver, can extract the most performance out of the car when you are actually racing.
So would you say Motorsports Park here, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, is a low downforce track or a high downforce track?
Oh, that's that's actually really a difficult question because it depends how confident are you before the race. If you are confident that you are going to put the car on pole and gonna fly away from the guys from behind, then going high downforce is actually the way to go. But if you are expecting some hard racing, then you really need to consider going low wings, because you're gonna be murdered if you go anything higher than medium downforce settings. So
that's probably the first thing we need to work on then right now, since I think from the old setup we had in Silverstone, we're still running 29 at the front and 14 at the rear, which is close to maximum on the downforce.
yeah, and you saw that even in slipstream, some guys were basically getting away from you from the front. So that was the really high cost for going so high on the wings. So yeah, the really difficult part is actually making a car that goes really good in first few corners, which are high downforce, and last two corners, which require really good change of directions in high speed. If you don't have that, I've seen many people actually pass there, which is quite amazing. But if you really have a car that's really hooked there, it's actually doable. So that's actually a priority, and then we're gonna work on mechanical side of the car, so it will provide enough stability and direct feel on the front end, so you can actually navigate your car around that hairpin that leads before the back straight, which is essential during the race. If you get a bad exit from there, or you just don't get any speed throughout the corner, you're gonna be just murdered through there.
So right, that's an interesting thing. So I've took down the wings already a tiny bit, trying to now set myself another reference lap, get the material into temperature zone, and then I think we can have a go at all the settings you just mentioned. However, I can tell you that the right hand kink in the final sector definitely won't be full throttle there.
Well, with lowered wings,
yeah,
it will be difficult.
At the minute it's definitely not possible.
But let's see what we can do about this on mechanical side. Yeah, thanks, Apex Predator, for your kind words. We are trying. I'm just a humble guest on this channel, so it's down to Michi and Sean doing their best, provide you quality content.
Need to first put off the reference car, which annoyed me quite badly there. Yeah, for some reason I turned it on at some occasion and just simply forgot to turn it off again.
You just needed some company, you were just lonely, admit it.
Yep. So, in addition to this setup guy, which is going to last for a good 3/4 of hour, we're gonna race this car at this circuit in one of those official public online races here on iRacing. It's gonna be the race starting at 4:45 PM GMT, and hopefully we have sorted our stuff out by then. And yeah, as Robert already mentioned, thank you very much there, Apex Predator, for that feedback. And there's definitely more stuff to come. As you can see, a little bar, well, it's a big bar I think, down in the footer of that stream, which is the Patreon page of the Simpit. And yeah, if you would like to become a part of that show, give further feedback, take action on the show, contribute to the show, feel free to subscribe to the Patreon and get your support in. Sean and me definitely will appreciate it. Sean even more than me probably, since it's his private channel and everything he does for like over 10 years. But he's very open, and I can say also for the guys not being on the Patreon, nothing will change, so the format of the show still will be the same. However, of course, the Patreon guys will receive some bonus material on the Patreon page and on the private backstage Discord server, where you have the chance to talk to me, to talk to Sean, basically to be part of the pit crew, talk to the pit crew, and work on some interesting projects all together. So I really can encourage you, click on that link in the subscription, go to the Patreon page, support the Simpit, and yeah, contribute to that show, make it an even better one. So we're waiting for your support there. As I finally have finished the first lap, I'm considerably okay with. Don't want to say happy.
Yeah, you missed a few apexes, but at least you kept it on the grey stuff, so that's actually...
Yeah. I will keep missing the apexes for now, no worries. I'm just driving like Sean lately did, but he had some good New Year's resolution for 2018 to hit more apexes and to do more serious racing, and so far he really achieved that, so I'm a little bit under pressure now.
Do it.
If you have some kind of questions...
This corner that you just made, the hairpin, you should try to make it as much of a V shape as you can. You basically want to turn very late so you can actually brake as much in a straight line as you can, and then sharply turn into the corner, which is quite difficult on single screen as you are currently using. For me it was also quite difficult, but down to feel, you really need to get a feeling where's the optimal moment to turn in, and once you do, you actually get not only much greater mid-corner speed, but also much better exit, which is hugely important for straight line speed out of the corner and not being basically murdered on the straight.
Alright, thank you very much. I think the first try already went totally wrong there.
Well, when you brake and turn so hard, it's no brainer. But yeah, you will figure it out eventually. It takes some time to get the feeling how it should be done.
So Apex Predator, if you want to have a little insight in the life as a Patreon for the Simpit, you feel free to talk to Nutella Bra, who is already a signed up Patreon member, and there you can ask all the questions, because Sean sadly is out of town for today and I'm just the backup. So if you want to have a real good feedback and an unbiased feedback, you should have a talk with Nutella Bra, who is part for the Simpit crew on the Patreon for I think more than a few weeks, so right from the start, so he knows exactly what's going on there.
Is he paying with Nutella jars though? The Patreon.
Again? Sorry?
Is he paying in Nutella jars though?
Ah.
Because that's liquid diabetes.
A bit.
Bruh, don't do it. Don't do it. You'll get fat. and the fat sim racer is a slow sim racer. Don't do it. Look
Because
at Michi, he's fit
yeah.
as hell. That's why he's so fast.
Because weight contributes to the car speed, or what?
Dude, weight distribution. You're messing with weight distribution if you are fat, so basically you need to take care of that.
Alright, I'm silent.
Also keep the center of gravity quite low, so you might consider shaving your head. It's gonna be a bit of shame because your hair are quite nice, but yeah, you need to make some sacrifices for results.
Sim racing, I'm going towards a public session very soon, don't worry. As soon as that lobby opens, I'm gonna swap it.
Okay, I've been observing your driving for some time now, and I have a few suggestions what can be done on the car to make you a bit more comfortable with it.
Alright.
First of all, I need to see what's actually done already to the car. Is it the same setup that was used during Silverstone, or is
Yeah,
it
it's exactly the same.
Since I don't remember what was the like back then, I need to actually see. But yeah, I've seen a few hiccups on the car here and there, so we need to rectify it. So you will be a bit more comfortable with it, and therefore more confident to push the car and get the expected lap time.
Then you have a go right here at the setup screen while I will be answering some questions.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sim racing. I'm gonna be joining, well, from iRacing hosted session with a official race to take place in a good 3/4 of an hour. So the registration should start in about 15 minutes for that race. And well, I'm used to race in the secondary split there, depending on how many people are there. So we will see.
Okay. That's okay. My idea what could be done is two things. First of all, we need to soften up a rear anti-roll bar, which is a bit too stiff for my liking.
Too stiff or too soft?
It's too stiff. I think we should go one click softer.
Okay, that's done.
And then go one click higher on rebound stiff on the rear.
One click higher on the rebound stiffness, so make it more to the positive side.
Yeah, I think in
that means
iRacing
it makes it stiffer.
Let me see how it works in iRacing. Because I always forget how all these minus pluses in iRacing actually work.
It works a bit differently.
So basically, by going towards less negative, you are making it stiffer. Yes.
Yeah. So if
rebound stiffness, tighter. Yeah, that's okay. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna explain to some maybe new viewers why I did that. Basically, when you stiffen up rebound setting, let's take the rear one as an example because that's gonna be easier for you to visualize. When you basically stiffen up the rear rebound, you are making the release of energy that is contained in spring when it's compressed a bit. It's just going to release this energy at slower rate, and therefore you make the car a bit more supple under braking, under changes of direction, and so on. Basically, the rear end just tries to make the weight transfer a bit lower, therefore a bit more lazy, but way more stable and more confidence inspiring.
So whenever you got further questions there, guys, towards why we did some changes to the car, in what manner and what not, feel free to just type in your message right here. Robert will have access to the chat and explain to you what we are doing here. Well, I'm trying to keep it on the grey stuff. And
yeah, guys, shoot, go on. I'm just drinking my quadruple espresso, so I'm chilling and reading what you have to say for us.
was that a better hairpin there?
Yeah, basically, if you kept it a bit more straight without turning, it would actually. I know it sounds crazy, but it would actually turn in better, because basically you are sacrificing both turning and braking performance by turning and braking. This is really important, because I've seen people make these mistakes quite a lot, which is thinking that if you brake and steer, you are actually combining the two movements, and therefore we are just cooking two chickens on one fire, killing two birds with one stone. That's actually the opposite. A tire has a limited force that can withstand, and when you are braking, it's actually on the verge of breaking that limit of grip. Where when it happens, it's actually what actually happens is locking up. Because when you are turning, you are basically sacrificing some braking performance for turning because a tire can only withstand so much force. It can't go further than a certain amount of force. And when you add a cornering force, lateral force to the longitudinal that is already applied to a tire, which happens when you are braking, it just lowers both of them. Both longitudinal and lateral becomes lower because it has to sacrifice both performances to actually do something about it. That's why you can get not wheel spins, lockups when you are actually turning and braking. That's really important to keep your car as straight as possible when you are braking hard to get maximum performance out of the car.
So what I basically do when I approach this hairpin right now, I brake, release the brakes,
Yes.
then turn in and let it just roll to the second apex.
Yes, but you really should not release the brakes totally. You really should just lean on them enough to keep the weight on the nose, therefore giving the tires more weight on them, therefore they will have more grip, because more weight on them is like having more damper. It's basically the same principle. A tire which has been weighted can withstand more forces, lateral forces, and therefore you can have more grip, so less understeer and so on and so on. Yo, Willie OD.
Could be worse, but I'm slowly getting there, I think.
Yeah, I can see that you are actually hitting your marks a lot better than before.
Still got a lot of problems with the rhythm of the upcoming 3 corners there.
What you really want to do is keep the car as close to the apex throughout as you can. You really don't want to be wide in that. You really need to keep the car as hugged to the inside of the corner as you can. If that means releasing some throttle, then that's of course what you should do, because by keeping it tighter, you are actually much better positioned to the next corner, which is really important for defending or attacking someone. I've seen many people actually attack there, just covering the inside through there and positioning the car well. We are actually making you an unovertakeable, is it even a word, obstacle for you to from the behind. Nutella bra. Using both brake and gut, it's really difficult topic, because
I'm not even doing it right.
It's not advisable. You shouldn't use throttle when you brake, because that's basically throwing away your braking performance. Because when you brake, you actually want for the car to stop. So if you want the car to stop, why do you use throttle? That's counterintuitive. But there are exceptions where having some throttle helps you. It's not a mean to speed up a car, but to balance it. By giving it just a bit throttle when you are braking, you are limiting the amount of weight that it's transferred towards the front, and you are just keeping just a little bit more on the rear. Therefore, the car might become a bit more stable, but for the cost of having less braking performance. Hi Martin.
Hey Martin. I'm fine so far, how about you? Could drive a little faster, that would be great. Now I start completely outbraking myself. I think I still could go a little lower with the rear wing in the back, because overall the car stability is alright.
Yeah, you actually should go as low on the rear wing as you can actually afford to, because the straight line speed is really essential here, and if the car is still reasonably stable through the quick corners, that's actually the point of the limit that you should be aiming for.
rally style there. Hey Josh. Hey everyone, thanks for joining here. Boris, that can't be a real suggestion, isn't it?
Boris, that's actually quite high. Well, it might really work well in qualifying when you are actually hunting down the time, but I'm worried that Michi is going to be really killed on the straights, and that's what I'm trying to prevent, because that's what happened during Silverstone race, and it didn't went well, because he was basically the sitting duck on straights.
However, I took the downforce generally away a bit.
Daniel, yeah, Cambers are on a type of tracks which have lots of fast flowing corners. Cambers is really important. However, dialing out Cambers is actually pretty difficult without using telemetry, and since we are not using telemetry right now, just yet. Maybe we will in the future, but right now we are not. Therefore, Camber is tricky because you need a lot of experience, lots of consistency in your driving to actually spot a difference in your driving when you change from this to there. Of course, if you make a radical change, of course you're gonna feel it no matter if you are experienced or not. I'm just talking about finding the sweet spot, which is actually really difficult, and about going really high on cambers on fast tracks. Well, that's also a difficult topic, because most don't really know that, but on tracks which have lots of fast corners, which are high load, so really high downforce, lots of speed carried through there. When you go low on camber, you can actually have high camber in the corner, because I don't know if this tire model in iRacing actually works like that, but in real life and in some extent in rFactor 2, you really need to pay attention what are your dynamic cambers like. Your dynamic cambers are nothing like the cambers that you set in garage in static environment. You could set the camber to, I don't know, 2.2, and when you put it on the ground it will be 1.7. And I'm not even talking about moving, it will be just sitting on the road. It will be 1.7, for example. And in the corner, it might go to even 3.8 camber on the one tire, and 0.5 on the other side of the car. It's really tricky to find a sweet spot, because it's really corner dependent. If you find a sweet spot, it's really beneficial for your car handling and lap time capabilities.
To be fair, I feel like bottoming out on that hairpin, on that uphill king, because at some point it feels like you hit something very stiff, and then the rear end comes around a bit.
It might be true. Like I said, without telemetry, we can't say for certain. I'm really relying on your feeling, on what you feel is going on with the car. I'm just going by visual, so therefore I'm limited to what I can actually spot. You are my eyes, ears, sensations. Basically, you need to feed me with information, therefore I can feed you with some changes that you should make. But if you feel you are bottoming out, then raising the car up is the way to go. Hello, Michael.
That's actually what it feels like, and since I can now register to the other race, I save it quickly as a set and go into a live session. So at least I can practice with other guys, see my timings, see other timings. Hey William, thanks for joining here.
Oh, thanks, Sim Racing. I'm gonna try to read your name, but if I screw it up, I'm really sorry. Mel? Sorry if I butchered it, but I'm just really just guessing here. Yeah, if the Cambers that you always said in garage in iRacing are Cambers that's what they are when the car is sitting static on the road, then okay. For example, in rFactor 2 it doesn't work like that. Even when you sit the car on track, when you set in Camber, it changes. It immediately changes from what you set in garage.
So, nevertheless, I think Boris was suggestion less camber there. Would you think that's way to go?
Okay, did you raise it already?
No, I did not do anything at all.
Then that's first thing you should do actually. And how about the general feel of the car? Did you feel that you are getting understeer, oversteer, and on what occasions? Because it's really important if it was low corners, high speed corners, on braking. Just feed me with information, and therefore I'll be trying to give you some changes that you can make.
Turn 1 felt nice. Turn 2 on the initial turn in. I have the rear going away a little bit before it straightens out, or straightened up again, causing a bit understeer still. Turn 3, I felt like being close to losing the car, despite the fact it never stepped out on me at all. So it just felt like being on the edge there. However, on the final corner there, I was going good on the apex, and I felt like being ready for stepping it on the throttle. And there was a little bump that set me off, set the rear off, and then spun me into the wall.
Oh, okay. But otherwise, it felt okay. It wasn't really painful in any other place on track. It was quite okay. Yes?
Yeah, generally yes.
Okay. So braking performance, braking stability
was alright.
Everywhere was okay. Then we will leave. How about the changes of direction in the last 3 corners? The fast right, left, and right.
It felt okay to me. I did not have to correct too much at all, and simply wherever I wanted to go, the car went.
Ah, that's okay. So therefore, the only culprit for you seems to be rear being a bit on the edge, making you feel a bit uncomfortable with it. Yeah. So we can try. But was it when you were full on throttle, or on changes of direction, or
it was on brakes. The turn 2 incident was where you slightly go off throttle, hit slightly on the brakes, then turn in towards that downhill area. That was where the car became unsettled, and on the final exit there was full throttle.
Okay, so we need a bit more rebound stiffness on the rear. Just yet another click to add stiffness on the rear rebound.
Okay. Alright, let's do some practice then.
Timo just contacted me and asked me where's my humor.
It's there, I know it.
Ah, it's there. Just trying to be somewhat right now, but once we are actually happy with what we've done, where the funny side of me should kick in. Unsafe pit exit.
Yeah, I touched the lines
racist.
there.
I'm sure that's because you are German.
Maybe.
And that's really good thing that you are behind that guy. You're gonna have some gauge if your wing levels are somewhat in the right spot. Because if he's still getting away from you, even though you are in slipstream, then we
No,
really
he's not.
messed up.
And I think
yeah,
it's more or less what Boris said. I think I'm not near as able to go as quick through them corners as the guy ahead does.
Yeah, like I said, it's a compromise. It's down to you. If you feel that you are comfortable enough with having less straight line speed, but you are sure that you're gonna make all the lost time from the straights on twisty bits, then going high downforce is the way to go.
I think higher
It's
downforce
really
really works
essential.
better.
You
Just
can
trying to get that
give it
wing.
two clicks more maybe. Ooh, that high?
Well, I'm just giving it a try.
Okay.
Because I do
I
have the
was-
time.
I was thinking 2-3 clicks. But yeah, if you think so.
I mean, I will let that time run against my all-time thing, because now we just have 1 degree centigrade lower temperature. And I mean, you know, if I win a couple of tenths over in the corners, but only lose like a tenth or 1.5 on the straight, then I don't see a point in running a low downforce set. But
Yeah,
we will see.
Yeah, you are completely. Boris. This doesn't work because iRacing has to work.
Boris also suggested some camber settings there, I think.
Yeah, I see no reason why not to at least try it. I've been racing in iRacing a long time ago, and I know that iRacing is a bit strange sometimes with its tires and everything else. No sim is perfect, of course, but iRacing especially really got me confused on many occasions, because I was really expecting this result, and I was getting the opposite. So yeah, it's all about experience. iRacing is really all about experience. Once you get lots of it in iRacing, you can actually figure out what you will get once you do this or that, even if it's not really correct or relatable with real world. But yeah, Boris, that's a good suggestion. We can actually try changing some things, some numbers, and see what's
Look at the delta for the straight then.
Right now you just exit.
Yeah,
the hairpin,
I know.
and you are gaining, and halfway through you are losing the time. You gained like a tenth on the exit and lost maybe tenth and a half throughout the whole straight. I think.
Yeah, but the final sector is like 0.3 quicker, really.
Yeah, In qualifying, yeah. In race, it's really much harder to get the same performance.
I think a little less would be way to go. So rather than 31.14, I would probably more look like 28.12.
Sim racing, yeah. I would argue on that iRacing is the best sim physics wise on the market, not by far. Yeah, it's down to preference. If it works for you, then have a ball with it. Really, it's really down to you enjoying it and so on.
I have to say for myself, really, I'm not the biggest fan of iRacing because this tire model does not make sense to me at all. Like
it doesn't.
Yeah, like Boris said, turn less. For those of you who have watched me racing in the Formula Sim Racing Winter Series, if you turn that GP3 car, which is, I would say, some sort of quite comparable geometry to a Formula Renault 2.0, engine-wise, physics-wise, chassis-wise, tire-wise, if you turn that full lock, that goes round quickest any corner whatsoever. So it's the complete opposite. Not saying that the rFactor 2 tire thing is right in any way. However, I think that's a mod issue rather than a rFactor 2 issue on that occasion. But it's just to give yourself an I don't want to say suggestion, but a direction of how I am related to racing on iRacing compared to another sim.
Well, sim racing, you are totally allowed to have an opinion that rFactor 2 or AC is crap. I'm not saying that you can't say that. I'm just saying that I just totally disagree with you. rFactor 2, once you nail the car, it's totally blowing the competition out of the water. But since it's really hard to get it nailed, that's why sometimes people think that rFactor 2 is a bit wonky, especially with some modded cars. But yeah, the official content, the content at which I'm really satisfied with, I can totally tell you that there is nothing better than this.
I do favor a lot that Mercedes AMG GT3. No matter what other people say, I really love that car from sounds over physics through everything.
It has minor problems with it, especially on, in my opinion, inertias. Still a bit, maybe not 100%, but still really good car. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just not perfect yet. Maybe it will get better once it gets another update sometime in the future. Yeah, I'm really satisfied with the car. I'm just not saying it's really up there at the top for me. I have a question, El Bucho or El Bucho. Which one is it? Is it El Bucho?
Call him William.
William. Okay. Yeah, William. That's actually the right approach. No sim is perfect. Every sim has really strong sides and really weak sides. iRacing has always been above anything else with implementation of the cars that they create. There is no other sim that has done it the way any other sim has done it yet. When the new car coming to iRacing, basically every single system, every single feature that the car has in real life is somewhat implemented or simulated in iRacing, which basically what makes iRacing feel so complete to so many people, which many sims actually don't do. But maybe they will catch up with this level of implementation. I can see you are having a really good time there.
Yeah, it's not feeling that bad. And meanwhile you were talking, I just took the camber settings of Boris as suggested, 1.5 in the front and 0.6 in the rear.
I've seen. I just didn't comment on that because I was completely lost. What will it do in iRacing? Like I said, it's been a long while since I've been racing in iRacing, so I don't know how Cambers changed, how they are handled in iRacing. So I'm basing my feedback, my inputs from real life. Other sims, books and so on. I've spent some time with real life engineers. Basically what I'm trying to actually give you is real life experience trying to make it work in sim. But if sim requires you to use this or that, I'm not gonna argue with it, I'm just gonna use it. So if these lower cambers actually work, then go with it. I was just not going to comment on that because I had no idea if it's gonna work or not in real life. I would really be skeptical about if such low cambers would actually be a way to go, but if it works here, no problem with it.
I have no real clue yet, to be fair.
Yeah.
The change did not feel too bad. Let me put it this way. Sorry. Sorry.
Was that the actual feeling that I was trying to get from you? How the car feels? You said, let me put this this way. Well, for me it's really informative. From now on, we're gonna communicate like this. I'm gonna ask you a question, and you are gonna answer me with
all right,
some kind of sound, or yeah. That's gonna be really helpful for me.
I'm fine with that. Now I just go back to the setting we had in before.
Maybe not go to the settings we had before, maybe just go around the middle of what you had before and what you had just now.
Okay.
I think that actually the best way, just finding if the middle ground, if you thought that the previous Cambers had some advantages to them, and then you think that there were some really nice things about having those lower Cambers, maybe you should go somewhere in the middle and see if it actually does something really good for you, just mixing both positives from both ends. That's actually what I do when I try to set up a car without using telemetry, but I usually use telemetry, so I usually go by it. Which we should totally do one day, because maybe some people will understand why we are doing some changes to the car and not the other, because we're gonna have some concrete data on why this change or that change is really required and why this change in the setup is gonna fix. I think it's gonna be really good for the folk to understand a deeper meaning of fixing this. I don't know how about you. Are you down with it during this telemetry session Monday?
Yeah, definitely. Probably should have done earlier already. But yeah, I'm so time limited lately. It's a mess.
Me too. That's basically why you guys haven't seen me in a while. I've been just flooded with work.
No, I'm not, dude.
You are not what?
Spotter was telling me I was going the wrong way when trying to reverse the car.
It's just Jeff is. Don't be mean to him. He's a son of a head of a union, so we kinda had to take him. Just try not to roll your eyes when he says something stupid.
I want to finish that lap, please. Get away, blinking thing.
Just focus on the road, don't look at the blinking thing.
Yeah. I think...
Yes?
Need to do a final corner again. The car is a bit more stable, which would make sense to me.
Yeah.
Since center point of the tires are pointing towards each other.
Well, most definitely it would feel more stable on braking and under acceleration.
Yeah, I agree.
In corners, not so sure, but because like I said, in corners your cambers actually do change, so they are not nearly where they were before the corners, so we don't really know. Without telemetry, we don't know what the tires are doing in corners. We are just guessing. Maybe using temperatures in garage and wear that's implemented in there as some kind of gauge where the tires are more or less at the moment.
Well, it's hard to say. To be fair, balance looked fine. It felt like being a little bit more grip. The only thing I'm not really happy with is the balance around this stupid hairpin there. But when I was looking at that track at first, I was like, alright, looks like the track is masterable. The only thing I'm gonna have issues with is that stupid hairpin.
Yeah. Is it the thing that when you are braking and turning, you feel like the front end is just going straight instead of actually hooking around the corner? Is it the problem that you are having right now?
The most difficult problem is to hit the first apex on the right point at the right speed in the right angle. That's what's giving me the hardest time at the minute.
But once you do, is it still not turning the way you want, or is it just not trying to steer at all?
In that
Because
moment when I
if-
go up the hill, it goes a bit too
Yes.
straight, and sometimes this is too much, and on the other occasion it's just about perfect. Getting
Well,
you set up for the second
it's the
apex.
it's the nature of this corner, so there is a limit to what we can actually do about it, other than driving through there exactly how it should be done. But yeah, this car doesn't have front anti-roll bar.
Nope. It just has
Okay.
rebound stiffness and bump stiffness.
Okay, that's actually limits our possibilities. But what you can do about it? Have you considered going a bit backwards with your brake pressure bias?
Don't wanna really, because as soon as I hit the brakes, the car really turns around, and I'm in fear of losing it, if that is more. On the
So let me get this straight, so I will have a better picture in my head. When you hit it really correct on the first apex on that hairpin, it goes around quite fine. If
Yeah.
you screw it up, it goes wide. Yes?
a bit, yeah. Yeah.
Even though you are using your brake just to make the car a bit more willing to turn, or do you?
Sometimes.
Let's.
When I feel it's fine, I leave it. If not, I do it.
It's gonna be a risky change, but maybe it will work out for you. What I want to do is to lower your bump stiffness on front, which will make your braking a bit more twitchy, but maybe not enough to make you uncomfortable. But it might actually help you have some compliance through that section, and maybe give you some.
2 clicks?
Yeah, 2 clicks should be enough.
Okay. Because
for
it's
you to
qualifying
feel-
session already.
Yeah. If the qualifying session goes really bad, I think going back to 15 should be the way to go.
Yeah.
I
Probably.
strongly believe if it doesn't rotate too much right now under braking, then it should actually provide you some good results there. And I'm gonna explain why to the people, why this change might actually help you by lowering the stiffness of the front bump of compression. What I did is making the compression rate, the compression speed, sorry, a bit fast. Basically, the damper is allowing that spring to compress at the a bit more freely, so it's a bit faster, a bit less resistant to compression. Therefore, the front end is reacting more lively to weight transfer from the rear to front, and therefore whenever Michi turns the car left, right, or brakes, especially when he brakes, the energy goes from the rear to the front a lot faster, giving him a lot more initial response from the car. And if the car isn't overloaded with this energy, so to speak, it should actually give him a better ride control. Of course, there is something like going too low. When he would go too low, he would immediately feel it with the car being totally unstable on braking under changes of direction. The car would feel like it's rolling too much, too fast. It just goes wobbly too much. But if we got it right for this section of corners, it should actually provide him just enough more compliance from the car. Daniel Clune, yeah, is the rear too stiff maybe? Well, I haven't heard Michi complaining about the rear being too unstable. What happened? I'm a bit behind you.
I just spun it.
Oh, the curb. Yeah, you really shouldn't.
Yeah, it was a bit too understeery at some point. Need to quickly look at. Well, track temperature is now 4 degrees up compared to the other thing, so maybe that was just enough to make it feel less grippy.
Yeah. Yeah, iRacing is really extreme with temperature changes. Even a few degrees can totally mess up your handling. Well, in real life it is like that as well, but I sort of feel that even few degrees in iRacing makes a huge change, which in real life it does some change, but not as big enough to really compare to iRacing. But yeah, if but are you braking or lifting towards turn 1?
No.
So you keep it flat?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you feel that your rear end was unstable in any way at any part of the corner of the track?
No.
Maybe you could go lower on rear wing, perhaps. It will
I would
help you.
I would probably go. Yeah, I would probably go one click up with the front.
Well,
I'm not sure really, because I think I keep balance as it is right now, since it's race session in about
maybe just one click less on the rear wing. It's not a big change, but it might just enough help you with the rotation in that quick corners. It's up to you. I'm not telling you to do anything, I'm just suggesting. It's up to you what you do with this suggestion.
I mean, I don't want to crash or spin out.
Yeah, that's actually not what we are looking for. If you feel that what you have right now is the safest option that you can have for the race, then go with it. It's really important you guys really should remember that in racing, you really shouldn't try going for the extreme of the extremes. Going safe, especially for the longer races, is key, because even if you, for example, lose 1 or 2 times per lap, because you have a bit safer setting on a car, is it really worth it to chase that 1-2 times over the whole lap if you spin on one of those laps and lose 5-6 seconds, which would take 50 laps to regain if you have a setup that which is 1/10 only. It's really down to calculations. Is it really worth it to chase the absolute raw pace even if you might lose it in a split second with a spin that could be avoided with a bit safer setting? That's really food for thought.
I think we're in the top split, by the way. 23 guys,
Congrats.
and strength of field is over 3,000. Not sure if I want to be congratulated on that. So Qualifying was good enough for P17. So we're not that last, which is good. Oh, I see then, Joe. Thank you very much. Anyway, lights coming up.
That's my boy.
Oh, that went well. For once.
Better than well. Yeah, just cover the inside. It's really important for you to cover the inside. Overtaking on the outside is possible, but really freaking difficult. Holy cow, you're already 8th. Quickly, cover the inside.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Really good defending.
Thank you there. No.
Focus on... Oh. Let me guess. Yeah.
Where did the car contact happen though?
No idea. Maybe some iRacing shenanigans. We will see the replay later.
I could have lived with one off-track incident. But not with that, really.
James, try Nola. I think the layout B is the one which is really fast and flowing. What was that?
Well, I'm nowhere near pace-wise.
Don't worry about it, you will get your rhythm back. Car is all about rhythm. You're setting your PBs, so don't really worry, not that bad. And actually catching up on the guys on the front, so cheer up. Freebie!
Maybe.
Gosh, I'm hungry. Do you guys have any recommendations for my supper? Yeah, let's turn this setup and racing video more towards eating channel. I even believe there is a Twitch sub-channel where Twitch guys actually cook on them, so I don't know, maybe we should classify this channel and video like that. It would be funny as hell.
Just see what happens there on that corner. I feel comfortable on the first apex, and then it just drags me wide, and I can't get it back into for the other thing then. And that's why I lose the momentum on the back of him.
I know what can be done about this, but first of all I need to really inspect your pedal inputs to see what you are doing with your feet. If I see that you are doing everything correctly with your feet, then I'm gonna have few ideas how to fix it, so worry not.
Okay.
Still getting your PBs, so just carry on with your rhythm. James, what food do I like? The one that's eatable. That's basically my requirements for any food. And the one that wouldn't give me diarrhea. Or it could give me diarrhea if it's tasty enough, but only if it's really super special tasty. Oops.
Well, I think that's race done. I'm not gonna carry on with that damage.
Oh. That was unfortunate. Well, you gain some, you lose some, yeah? On the first lap you gained lots of places, and then one unlucky guy spinning in front of you, ruining your race.
Yep.
But anyway, let's maybe use this opportunity to maybe fix your hairpin problem.
Yeah, quickly. I can't edit during the race. So I'm just sitting and waiting for towing. Let's see whether I can be pulled back, because basically in that strength of field I simply want to finish, because that will still give me a decent iRating there. How can I uncheck the boxes with replacement of tires?
there was a question that I really want to answer.
Yeah.
Do you feel any changes in RO in this sim? Well, in most sims you feel the changes in aerodynamics. It's well, other than you actually getting better handling through some corners. If a sim has really nice force feedback, you can actually feel the increase or decrease in aerodynamics on your wheel. So yes, you can actually feel the changes in load on your car on your wheel. That's really important to get your wheel settings actually where you want to have them, because if you have really them spot on, you can gain lots of time just by having a lot more feel of the car. Okay, so what was your question, Michi? Sorry about that.
None really. Oh dear. They did some fixing to the car, however it still turns to the right.
It's no use to test. It's not gonna give you any meaningful
That's good.
info.
Rather than just some other contact incidents, no help. So, I'm gonna fix this here and probably end that session.
Oh yeah, and there was another question for me. Do I like Indian food? I love it. I love spicy food to a point that I sometimes scare my family on some reunions. Whenever there is some really tasty food and they see me pouring Tabasco or piri piri peppers, any other really hot ones, they look at me like I'm really crazy, but I'm just replying them with a good food burns twice.
Anyway guys, unfortunate end to the stream, unfortunate end to the race. However, I quickly want to bring up the Patreon page here for the Simpit. So here's the suggestion that was shown in that little bar. When the Simpit reaches our goal of $500 per month, we will start a Patreon-only racing event each month for our members. And the race will then be streamed live and hosted by Sean Curlers being the broadcaster. So the Simpit will then put up a t-shirt that can randomly won by everyone who did all races and scored points in all races. So that will be the effective target for us guys here, or for you guys here, better said. So yeah, subscribe to the Patreon, contribute to the show, make the show an even greater and better one. And yeah, I think on that time it's say to thank you very much, Robert, for your help. I think we would have been eligible for a good top 10 result if not for that mistake, and then for that other guy that shoot me over there.
Better in the top 10, I think, with the level of lap times that you were getting, and you were still getting faster and faster with each lap. If that carried on like that, I strongly feel that you could fight for P6 easily.
Could be the case, really, but yeah, I mean, in the end, it's a sad story though. As soon as I saw that guy turning around, I couldn't do anything about it, and I think that the way of damage I got on the car there is just not right as well, I have to say. But anyway, that's how it is. And
yeah.
There you go. I mean, that's about it. That's racing sometimes. Sean hit it considerably harder yesterday as he was shot for death after 4 minutes to go in a 2.4 hour race.
Poor Sean.
But Yeah, that's sadly the way how it is.
No
Anyway,
time
guys.
in Gram, Michi is paid in broccoli.
Why? Because I'm lacking vegetable and food and stuff, or what?
Because you need to be an idol for your followers, and if they see you eat healthy, they're gonna eat healthy. And we really want our viewers to be as healthy as they can be.
Well, I am actually doing a lot of fitness and workout because, and that's maybe another little thing I would like to point to is the Avid Chronic Racing um, setup guide. It used to be a setup guide, an advanced one for rFactor 2, but we now did some rework on it, and now it's a basic setup guide, including also some driver practice. So I especially contributed to that 80, I think it's an 80 plus page document. Meanwhile, giving thoughts about mental strength, about body strength, about doing fitness, doing training, because Sean does it as well. I'm doing it a lot, and I know literally every top and every pro sim racer does a lot of um, body workout in order to stay fit, and that's not because they want to be ready for a call of any racing team to let them hop into a real car. It's more of because of the fact that yeah, I mean, raising your body strength also contributes to your concentration. It's a bit of a weird correlation between each other, but it exists, and you will feel better the more practice you do, the more healthy you eat, the more powerful your body is. You will be dealing easier with 2.5 hour stints without getting a concentration breakdown or whatever. So
Exactly, it's really down to your heart rate. The best way to actually measure your fitness is to do some stress testing and see what's your heart rate like. If it's really high, sorry boy, you need to work out. And I don't mean weightlifting. You don't have to get swollen like Ben Swallow, the newest trend. But the main goal you should be aiming for is to get your heart rate as low as possible, even in most stressful situations, because in those kind of situations, it's a good indication how your body reacts to not only stress but also physical aspect of racing, because it is tired. You can ask anyone who raced in any sim how he felt after many hours of racing without any breaks on the way. The fitter you are, the faster you get, because you, like Michi said, you lose less concentration, you feel less fatigue. It's all really complex and down to really simple thing. Fit body is a fit mind, and fit mind is a fast mind in a sim, because the speed, the raw speed and consistency in sim sometimes is really keeping your mind as fresh as you can, and keeping it as fresh as you can is sometimes actually keeping your body as healthy as you possibly can.
right, yeah, and I don't think I got anything to add to that because you explained it very well why physical strength.
Medical University, woo!
Because he explained it very well why physical strength contributes to your mental strength as well. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a nice Sunday still. Was that a glass falling over there on your side? Your triple espresso something. Now it's being fed up with the floor.
It was a big jug of water. I just usually have a really huge jug of water beside me at all times, and I drink straight from it. I don't use glasses for this. I'm barbaric like that. I like it raw. Girls like it. I think. I hope. Please tell me that they like it, please.
Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Robert, for being here. Thank you, Robert, for your help.
No, thank you.
Thank you guys in the stream chat for being around. Not sure whether I'm gonna run another race because I do have International Sim Racing Federation meeting going on in 40 minutes time, and I think that will cover up the next 2.5 hours for me then. So I'm gonna be busy doing other things. Anyway, guys, hope you guys see us later here again. Otherwise, it's Sean Cole's role tomorrow with his news show at 9 AM Pacific Standard Time. So guys, stay tuned for everyone. Subscribe to the Patreon as it's still seeable here in the website. Yeah, you will get additional content, as I already said, like this was being my engineering setup for Sean on the Raw Before 24. You will get additional content, early access to other things, so it's a nice thing. Looking forward to your contribution. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Robert, got anything to add?
Only that, eat broccoli, and you will be as sexy as Michi there, so go for it. You will not only be a fastest sim racer, but a really much better person as a whole. So there you go, just look at him and pay attention.
So this webcam giving me a hard time the last 5 minutes, like it's
showing
me.
it's just giving you a really good way of showing off how fit you are and so on. Yeah.
Anyway,
no
guys.
Homo. Hashtag no homo.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the Simpit. I'm Michi Hoyer, and I'll see you guys out on track.
See you guys.